Hello friends, my name is Claire and for this week's video I am going to be doing iamcowplant's chill challenge from Instagram. So I wanted to make this into a family home, which I know is what I normally do, but I just like to stick to it. I know there are a lot of people out there who are creative and will make this shell into like a alien house or like a gym, but I like making family homes and so that's what I decided to do. So this is a family home for three, but there are space for pets, so it's technically, I guess, a family home for five. And so, first, we are starting off in this little entry office dining room I made, and so I wanted to have a little like computer nook. I was mentioning that this family would be kind of like younger. They have like a single toddler. They mostly bought this house because they have a dog who's very active, and there's like agility equipment back there in the backyard. And so we are just going to be adding a bookshelf. And one thing that is with show challenges, if you don't really know too much about show challenges, that you can't change any of the exterior walls. And for me, I like doing show challenges for that reason, because that's one less step I have to do when making a YouTube video. And so I wasn't exactly sure where to put a dining room at this point, so I just kind of left this area a little blank at the beginning. And so we do come back and add a dining room, but first we're just going to add some pictures. I do only use the Seasons pack and the Cats and Dogs pack. This is built in the world that came to Cats and Dogs, which is Burnopton Bay, and now we are in the living room area. And I wanted this area to feel very cozy. I wanted it to serve the purpose of a living room, but also a playroom for the toddler. And right now we're just trying to figure out how many chairs I can fit into this living room. And so we're just going to be adding some rugs and just kind of like figuring out like a good layout, a good like flow with this space. And so this shell challenge did have some week required items of items that I Am Cowplant likes to put in their builds, and I like putting certain items in my builds, and so I wasn't frustrated by these items. It kind of gave me the inspiration to have like a toddler in this house. And so we are just going to be adding a little like two-seater couch and a cat tree, because like I said earlier, there are space for pets in this house. And so we are just going to be adding a little coffee table under the TV. I do move that like closer to the couch because I wanted to add a fireplace into this house. I just kind of forgot during this moment of recording, and so we do come back into this space later on. And so we are just going to be adding a little kid play area. I feel like this right here would be a good spot for a kid play area because it's like right inside of the kitchen. So if one of the parents is in the kitchen cooking a meal, and then they can easily just kind of look out into the living room and make sure the toddler and the pets are playing nice. And so we are just going to be adding some decorations onto the table, onto the coffee table. And this basket is another required item along with this plant that's currently on the floor. I didn't want to use these items all in one space. I wanted to spread them out, but I do keep the basket in here along with the like basket on a coffee table, along with the basket by the cat plushie. And so we are just going to be adding a little side table by the couches, and I couldn't like figure out exactly like how big I wanted the side table to be, but I do end up putting a cat tree, and I feel like that looks like natural and it like would like function like how it would in real life. And so we are just going to be now in the kitchen. This kitchen's pretty bland, and so I wanted to add some cabinets to the kitchen. And I feel like that's mostly because I made it bland. Nothing against the shell. I decided to go with white tile and cream floor, but I feel like we need more, like, better tile, like kitchen tile in the base game. And so I just kind of went with the old faithful of subway tile for the kitchen. And I was thinking that since this is like a younger family, they would probably want something kind of like natural or something kind of a little bit more like, oh yeah, I've seen that on the social media. And so now we are back in the front room, adding that little dining room table. And I'm sorry I forgot to mention this earlier, but this is a 2 bedroom, 2 bath home. And so we are just going adding a little toddler chair that I know is like really frustrating to play with sometimes, but I wanted to keep it kind of realistic, and so I decided to put in the toddler chair. And so we are just going to be adding some garbage cans and going to be adding a nice little art piece above them. Probably could have put in something a little bit more kitchen inspired, but this is Benoton Bay and it's just like right off the coast, and so I felt like a ship picture was a good choice. And now we are just going to be adding some curtains into the kitchen, and I add those same curtains into other parts of the house just to keep it kind of consistent from space to space. And so we're just going to be adding a few more things into the toddlers area. And I feel like I always use this rug. It's just really cute, and it feels like it. I don't know, since like the rug it is the same color as the same like color as the dollhouse floor. It just looks really cute. Like it's an extension onto the rug or onto the playhouse. And so we are now on the second level, kind of working on this landing space, I guess you would call it. And I saw this forever ago on Instagram, but these pictures actually make like these like four small pictures actually make one big picture, and so I wanted to use them. I don't remember who did that or I saw it. It was forever ago, and finally using that trick. But we're in the primary bathroom, which is kind of small. Probably could have made it a little bit bigger, but I also wanted it to be a flowing floor plan. And so we are using that plant that was required in the shell to be the in this room in the primary bedroom. And I realized actually last week's video that I don't use too many plants when I build. I probably should. I like plants, but I just never really use plants when I'm building. And so we are just going to be adding some curtains, and I liked how I could use the same curtains but make them look different by the way I rearranged them. And so we are just going to be adding some pictures into this little hallway. It was kind of required, well, not required, but I noticed when I was like planning that there was an extra interior wall, and I wasn't sure if I was supposed to keep that or not because the rules only said like exterior walls, or they usually do with show challenges, and so I just kind of made a little private hallway area, and I feel like it works out pretty well because there isn't really any other space to put the bed where you could have like both Sims like walk around it. And so we are just going into the second floor bathroom, and this area again is pretty simple. I figured since like this might be like the first home of this Sim family that they wouldn't really care to have like a primary ensuite because maybe they lived in a studio apartment before they came into this house, or somewhere where they didn't really have a primary bedroom ensuite. And so we are just going to be going in adding some little details. You could add a door into this bathroom to how to get rid of the towel bar, and you can have like a Jack and Jill between the primary bedroom and the hallway. But right now we are just going in and adding that fireplace. I did have to do some fancy tools to add the TV back, and I can't really explain how I did it. There's plenty of build tutorials out there on YouTube, but I basically just had to use the cheap bb.move objects and then had to get rid of the wall behind the fireplace, and I had to use Control 9 to raise it up and then Alt button to move it into place so the TV was in front of the fireplace. So right now we are just going to be adding a bookshelf, and I don't think I show this. I might show this, but I do add a cat litter box up into this little landing area right outside of the bathroom door. And now we are in the second bedroom, which I designed for a toddler. You could also have a child bed, or just a small bed, not like a two sleeper bed, but like a one sleeper bed in this space if the sim grows out, or if you grows up, or if you want to have like two sims here. So I decided to just make it into a little kid playroom, or not playroom, kid bedroom with a lot of toys in it. And so we are just going to be adding this dog stuffed animal and going to be adding some other little toys. Maybe this wouldn't make too much sense, but I decided to add these extra toy basket for the toddler in their bedroom. I know sometimes parents put their toddlers in their rooms to have quiet time, so I was thinking oh, that could be the quiet time games for the toddler. And so we are just going to be adding some details. I was thinking that maybe the toddler's not fully out of diapers, there's not a changing table, but there's still the diaper holder thing on the dresser. And I did also want to add a little bookshelf, or what, just a little wall bookshelf in here, just to save space but also have functionality. And so we're just going to be adding some cloud pictures onto the wall with the bed, and I really like how this room turned out. And so we are just going to be finishing up this room just with a few more decorations, and I wanted this area to feel very fun for a toddler, and we are just going to be adding that litter box now. So I do show you, I wasn't sure, sometimes I'm oh crap, the litter box, or when I'm doing these voiceovers. And so we are just going to be finishing the interior of the house, and now we are going to be going to the outside of the house. So for this porch area, I decided to make it a little grilling spot. I feel like it was very convenient being right outside of the kitchen, and we are just going to be adding a little table because I always get annoyed when the Sims grill the food and they take it all across the house. So I feel like having a small table by the grill will help solve that problem. And like I said at the beginning of the video, there is a dog agility course, and so we are just going to be making a little course for the dog. And I don't know why, but making agility courses and making a photo wall collage is really fun for me. And I don't know why, it's just kind of creative, and you can make it how you want. And so we are just going to be finishing up this video. So if you enjoyed it, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. I post new videos every single Tuesday, and if you want to do this shell challenge yourself, you can go follow iamcowlplant over on Instagram. All that information should be there, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims video. If you have any build suggestions for me, please leave them down in the comments, and I hope to see you all next week for another Sims 4 video. Bye!